Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to KSB TV. There's so many news that we will talk about, but today the main topic is how to be your own bank. And in the past, we always had a specific idea when it comes to how to be your own bank by using smart contracts. Today, we want to have a little other perspective, and this is what we will talk about with Patrick. Hi, Patrick. How's it going?
Hi, Alan. It's going great. Hi, everybody out there. Hope everybody's doing fine. And as you already said, plenty to talk about. We had plenty of volatile movements in the last week, positive movements actually. And today, the main focus after a small introduction where David will show you some tweets, what's going on in the ecosphere and so on, the ecosystem. And then our main topic of today is how what are strategies for being your own bank? And those strategies are not only buying and selling coins on the right time, they are way more, because nowadays we have the decentralized ecosystem with Uniswap and soon with Pulse Chain and Pulse X, another decentralized ecosystem where we can earn plenty of fees and make good gains without the need to trust any middleman. And that's where our main focus will lie today. And we will go through a couple of charts and maybe a couple of charts what you haven't seen yet, because we will look at several charts within crypto, so crypto to crypto charts. For example, the HEX Maxi chart, or the HEX Hedron chart, or the Pulse Doge HEX chart, or the Hedron Pulse Doge chart. There are plenty of coin combinations within the coins we are talking about, and to show you what strategies you can do there.
But like Patrick already said, we will do a little introduction and look over what happened in the last days in the HEX ecosphere. So let's bring up the screen share. There you already see it. The second best HEX domain that we have, pumphex.com. This is just a placeholder here to get into the topic. So the first topic that we want to talk about is, of course, the Barnsley FC Football Club. A little bit of a controversial topic. The Hexicans were sponsoring this football club to have the sponsorship on the front of the t-shirt, and this went on for 2 games, I believe. And then Barnsley FC started to do a little bit of scammy things here. They started to go after Hexicans, after Hexican posts, and they saw some things they didn't like. And that's why they made an official statement that they want to end the relationship with HEX. And now when we go down here, Richard has a statement to that as well, because it looks like he made a little bit of research, and he's saying, hey, Barnsley FC, how is it that your supporters are actually having the highest record of racism in England, but you are going after the couple of Hexicans? This is a little bit weird. Patrick, what is your take on that?
Yeah, it's like kind of free marketing, and if the guy who sponsored the club sold some HEX on a higher stage and gets now back the money for the sponsorship, he can buy the dip as well. So I see that really pretty neutral, because nobody got harmed here, so it's just noise. And I mean, more noise, more eyeballs to HEX, so why not having this controversy here? And yeah, besides that, it's nothing more to say for that.
Basically, you are saying there is no bad marketing. I think so, the same. So first of all,
of course there is bad marketing. Like a 95% drop is really bad marketing.
Well, then the opportunists could say, well, this is now a really good opportunity then to buy in. But I think the outrageous marketing of Richard R shows us that it works. And we had two games. They won two games. They were representing Hex really well, but it was just other things, political things going on in the background that we did not like too much. But anyways, this was the one controversial thing that we want to talk about. And this new post of Richard really was worth mentioning, I think. But let's go on to the next topic that we have here, because I have a big announcement to make. I was not sure if I was able to make it to Vegas, but now I have the confirmation. I'm done with all my things that I have to do, and now I have free time to go to Vegas, and I decided to do so. So the first things that I will attend is, of course, the golf tournament of KSB TV, and then I have already two other parties, the DeFi Sexy Ladies party, and KSB TV presents the Rec Pleb Cabana party, so I will be there for sure. And then also the Power City party. I have not bought my PulseCon ticket yet. I still have to look a little bit more into detail. I just want to give the announcement that I will officially go to our golf tournament. So everybody who is who wants to see us, who wants to see me, Patrick, and all the other guys, you are welcome to attend. Patrick, are there any news when it comes to the golf tournament? I know you are really involved in all the planning. Is there anything that you maybe can say today to the viewers?
I mean, also if you're a non-golfer, it will be a really awesome day. You know, Exotic Cars will be there with some nice cars. Freddie Quotes will be there shooting a music video for his new song. Then we will have plenty to drink there, plenty to eat there, and we can watch all the golfers as well. So it's definitely a nice day to get together. You know, to be able to have awesome conversations about cryptocurrency. It's also an event where we get a lot of no coiners because you know, like the golf community, not much of the Hexicans are golfers, and so we reached out to a lot of different golf communities as well to tell them like there are plenty of prizes to win, and yeah, that they have like big chances to win that because it's not like a high-end golf tournament, so they won't compete against Tiger Woods maybe. So yeah, there is a good chance that your foursome can win millions and millions of pulls and full sets.
And also how the scramble is played out, it gives even the smaller and a little bit newer teams the chance to also win. So maybe you can really quickly talk about the prizes that you can win. There's a hole-in-one game where you can make a hole-in-one, maybe if you're able to, and win $20,000 cash prize
Yeah,
sponsored by Internet Money.
exactly the way how that works. It's a sponsored hole, and on this specific hole, if you make this hole, it's a par three. As a hole in one shot, so instead of needing like more than one shot, only with one shot in the hole. I don't know how many yards it is. Kaylin knows that. And if you get that, then you win the cash prize of $20,000 powered by yeah.
So what other big crypto prizes are there to win? We are giving away Pulse and Pulse X for both of the games, right? The morning game and also the later game. If Pulse Chain is not out yet, we will definitely do it on the test net first. And then, of course, there's a little bit of trust involved that we will then still send the Pulse and Pulse X once Pulse Chain is out, but we will definitely do that. I think with the 5555 tour, we have the validity that we are really truthfully doing that. So this is that. And let's go to the next topic before we come to our main topic here, because HEX was now listed on Simplex, the largest US credit card on-ramp. I think this is really interesting. I mean, we hear that all the time that HEX is listed there or there's a new on-ramp there. But what is interesting about Simplex, that it's really the largest US credit card on-ramp. And I think it's a useful tool for people to get into HEX. Patrick, what is your take about Simplex or also maybe the credit card option that we have on MetaMask?
Yeah, I mean, more options to get into the market are always better. But I would be cautious a little bit. You know, I wouldn't recommend to use it because we also always recommend like being your own bank and like getting the whole concept done of being your own bank. And a little part of this whole concept is that you also have an account at a centralized exchange. Usually you should not keep money on this centralized exchange, but you will need to use one centralized entity in order to get your fiat money, dollars, euros, francs, pesos, whatever, into cryptocurrency. And also, like years later, you would need to get your gains from cryptocurrency back into the fiat system. I don't think that it's going so fast that we can onboard the whole world, that we can just use crypto and crypto to crypto transactions, that there is no need to go back into any fiat system. So I guess that will still take a few decades. And that's why we are recommending to have your proper account at a centralized exchange, because that way you can also always show your government that you don't do any illegal stuff, that you had your money there, you send it to this account, you exchanged it to this crypto, you send it to your privately owned wallet where you are your own bank, you made 1000x with that money, and you can all show that, every little step. And if you just have like one little credit card purchase somewhere, it might be a little harder for documentation reasons, and all those fast on ramps like buying Ethereum with credit card on MetaMask or buying HEX on Simplex with credit card is always charging you about 10%.
But what I'm most exciting about right now, you see it here on the right side already, Richard Hart, hashtag Richard Hart is trending, and we can talk about why that is maybe. It is because we have people like Watcher Guru, one of the biggest Twitter crypto handles, talking about HEX. A really good article was written, Richard reposted it even. And of course, stuff like this then leads to trending of Richard Hart on Twitter. But it's also stuff like this here, where Richard Hart was together with BitBoy Crypto, one of the biggest YouTubers in the crypto space, a big fan of Richard Hart, like he said a couple of times during the last weeks. And of course, also this leads to a trending Richard Hart. I really, really love it. Patrick, do you remember when HEX started? We only had hexologists talking about HEX, but now we have a whole ecosphere of Hexicans, of Pulsicans talking about this topic. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's really cool to see Richard finally in the States. There were a lot of rumors like in the past. Now Richard cannot go back in the States because they will get him once he enters and so on. So it's sadly why he is in the US, because his mom got sick, but it's awesome that he got to the US. In my point of view. And maybe he stays longer in the US. Maybe we get a Richard Hart surprise in Vegas. I don't know.
Don't say that. I don't believe
I
that.
I don't think so. I just wanted to make like a little rumor here. I don't think so, because like when you talk to Richard and asking about Vegas, then he is like really not a fan of Vegas itself.
But
So
Richard is also saying that he lives in a castle. This is the stuff he likes to do, castle stuff. He's not going to little events like ours, but maybe in the future. There's something
let's see.
interesting
Let's
now.
see.
You said that
And
on
yeah,
Hex.
so like to finish my point, I find it awesome that Richard proved all the big haters again wrong, because they all said like, yeah, now Richard is not able to enter to the US because the law enforcement will get him once he enters, and now he is in the States legally, publicly, flying around, driving around, doing all kinds of stuff, and uh, not a single police officer is acting anything. So I
Well,
like that.
one of the things Richard Hart was talking about lately on his Instagram, for example, but also on BitBoy Crypto Show, is that he was installing a lot of PDs, for example. But you know what? We have to admit a little bit the haters were right. The police came after Richard because Richard was talking about this incident that he had when he was buying stuff at Walmart or somewhere 3 days in a row, and then they called the police on him because they thought he would commit credit card fraud. And he was talking about this story at BitBoy Crypto Show, but also here on Jordan Belfort's YouTube channel today. I think this was really interesting. So funny that the police here was actually going after Richard a little bit, but of course they could not do anything. He was not doing anything wrong. But let's talk about the Jordan Belfort interview that he had today. like one of the big guys in stocks, right? And he's also in crypto, like you see here on his profile picture. He says that he holds Bitcoin, he holds Ethereum, and well,
Stupid.
yeah, yeah, and he is in NFTs as well. But my point is, though, he was asking really good questions. He was asking about Hex. He was asking why is Hex so amazing. He was also asking, well, what is this pulse chain, right? And this just gave a perfect opportunity for Richard to explain everything. So I think this was a really good stream. Everybody, I invite you to go here, click the video, and like it and watch it because you get a lot out of it. And then what is really interesting is the next stream as well, where Richard will be on. Dollar Cost Crypto brought Richard, and Funding Jim as well, brought Richard to one of the biggest podcasts in America called Fresh and Fit. They're talking about girls, they're talking about finances, and now also about crypto. And Yarida has been on Fresh and Fit about 3 months ago, already chilling Hex. So the guys know already about Hex. I'm really excited to see Richard on there. But we can go on here with the next topic, also posted from Richard. Pulse Chain to host nearly 120 projects on its new network on launch day. I think this is amazing because when Hex launched, we had only scam articles written about, only people were hating, and now the host market sentiment is different, right? We have developers now jumping on Pulse Chain, wanting to put their product on Pulse Chain, and I can just not wait. I'm really, really excited for that. Patrick, is there maybe something that is interesting you out of the 120 projects that are coming out?
Pulse X and the reward token.
Pulse X and the reward token. We don't know anything about that yet. I'm also really excited about that. But there are other small coins. We have talked about that on KSP TV on. I think we reviewed the Pulse hot list, and there you can just read everything about every coin. Really, really interesting. Everybody should go to pulsehotlist.io to just check it out. If you scroll down here a little bit,
carefully check it out. Don't throw money.
Yeah, of course. But they do a really good job by like ranking them, right, and showing what is not good, what is a running project, what is not out yet, and so on. So I think it's really worth looking into. Like you said, not throwing money into everything, but just to check out what kind of cool projects there are. And then we go here on the right side, we see another coin that we love is trending, which is Hedron. And why is that? Maybe it is because Alex, the founder of Hedron, announced the ICOSA launch date, which is on Sunday, 15th of August, 00 UTC. I think this is a huge for Hex, for Hedron. ICOSA will change the game theory a lot because now there's more stickiness in order to use your Hex, stake it, and then have it as an HSI. Later on, there is ICOSA, and you can even sell your HSI. So really, really interesting. And we will look into
on this point. At this point, can we quickly switch to my screen share?
Oh, sure.
Because to this point, where you want to go next week, guys, you should go on the site app.icosa.pro and really check it out. So Wallet Connect does only want to view your wallet. You don't need to put anything fraudulent in. So a safe smart contract here to connect with. And here you have your apps, Hex, Hedron, and ICOSA. And here you have like your stake at first. And with the stake, for example, you can first mint the Hedron and then end the stake. Of course, here it only tells me the emergency end stake because we are only 7% done with this one stake we have in our onboarding account. And another nice thing what you can do with this side is...
Let me jump in here really quick because, Patrick, what kind of stake is that? Is that a 15-year stake?
That is a 15-year stake.
And of those 15 years, 7% is already done. That sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, that is running since about 1 year now. Yeah, a little bit more than 1 year, and 15.2. Yeah, you can calculate that by yourself. That's 7.14%.
All right, so this was just really quick here. Where did you want to go?
It was just like a small stake. And the second really awesome thing what you can do with this new front end. First of all, you like this, you will never forget to mint your Hedron before you end stake your Hex. And second of all, you can mint through all your stakes, all the mint-able Hedron with just one transaction. So for all those guys who have like a huge staking ladder, like hundreds of stakes, for example, they can now just go from time to time and press the mint all button, and then all the stakes, all the available Hedron to mint will just with one transaction appear in the wallet. That's the cool thing.
And Patrick, this is a little bit crazy, right? Everybody knows I have over 600 stakes to end in the future. So this tool will help me a lot by reducing the gas fees. But do you think it is like really just one transaction, really a little bit of fees? Or is it just if you have more stakes, then it's just a little bit proportional more? You know what I mean?
I looked it up before, and it was even with my big wallet, so like where there would be like plenty of transactions to do, and it showed me $4. So I didn't execute it because I don't it was just like in between the streams now, and but it's not like extremely expensive or something like that. So it's really really gas efficient as well. So generally speaking, like one Hedron mint was always pretty gas efficient, and I guess to combine them is not that much more technical. So it's not much more gas needed, you know.
That's amazing. I think Alex did a really great tool here again for the Hexicans to be able to spend less fees and then have more left over for the Hex, for their Hedron, and all the coins that they love. All right.
Yeah, so, and then what I also want, we are still with my screen share, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here you have like your Hex native stakes, and then here on the side with Hedron, here you also see like your HSI stakes, the encapsulated stakes. And here we also have like the mint Hedron button, the tokenized emergency end stake. We can mint all, you know, and here we see, okay, we could mint able Hedron, bonus Hedron. Here, advanced able Hedron. Okay, good. That's why is here 7,300? I don't. That doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit. Patrick, there is something else that I found on the site really helpful as well.
No, that's like the borrowed able Hedron. So here mint able Hedron. Here I have it. Yeah. So 3,600, 3,600, and that's why total mint able Hedron. So here you have the sum. And if you press this mint all button, then all of your stakes get minted. And here the ICOSA button, I'm sure that will be live on Monday.
And something else that I found really helpful, if you look, you click on the Hex, you did it already, and create a stake. You can just plug in some numbers here, so we can see how much bigger pays better bonus we get and how much longer pays better bonus that we get. And now it's like just shown a little bit different. It just looks so cool, differently than go.hex.com. So you said it already. I will also do my Hex staking and Hedron staking on app.icosa.pro. How do you like this new front end for your Hex staking?
I like it. I just here stake type. And I can choose if I want to make like a native stake or a HSI stake. I like this new front end a lot. I really need to say that I liked it a lot, and I just saw it the first time today actually.
Don't go away from that yet. Please click on create a stake yet. I have a question for you because you and I, we talked about this a lot in the past. You stake 5555 and now you have to choose. Is it going to be a native stake or an HSI stake? What would you recommend to do for all the new people that come into Hex right now? Should they make a native stake or an HSI stake? What is your take on that?
They should make HSI stakes because then you can all stakes can be 5555. So if you wanted to do like a ladder, let's say you wanted to do a yearly ladder, 15 stakes with like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year until 50. Instead of that, you can just do 15 individual Hex stakes with each 5555 as HSI stakes. And then after every year, you can just take one of those, tokenize them, and sell it on the open free market. you will
You already
definitely get more APY doing that than just with the yearly ladder.
Yes, but here is the thing. Only with the native stake, you have the truth engine protecting you. And I truly believe that the best thing that you can do is send money to your future self and not sell this position for a long, long time. When you make an HSI stake, though, and Hex and Hedron and all those coins go to the moon, you maybe get weak hands and you want to sell your position. And this could be a big mistake because we do not know how high cryptocurrency can go in the future. And it might be something crazy. So
Yeah,
make
when
one
you
native
so
stake, I would say, for 555.
if you personally think that you cannot hold the other HSI stakes for each a year longer, then yes, you might consider yourself doing native stakes.
Exactly. So a native stake is
But
definitely
only
something that
then,
will
like
protect you
when
from
we
selling.
are talking of making the most gains, making the most APY, then we are at the HSI 5555 stakes.
100%, you are right.
It's and
But on the
there
other
is
hand, then I could argue,
like, but if I get weekends, yeah, then don't get weekends. Yeah.
oh, that's really easy to say. But when you do 10,000x, some people have never seen gains like this in the past, and then they
Yeah, then
just
you
get weak.
sell maybe one of your HSI stakes 2 months earlier than your actual year was over.
You see,
But the
that's why
rest
it's
you
so
just
hard to
keep
argue
on.
with you. You always have really, really good points.
Yeah,
But
it's I don't. For me, the argument like, yeah, because of the truth engine, it's no. I'm sorry. If you're want to get familiar with the concept of how to be your own bank and want to do like a little bit sometimes, then and maybe even if not, then it might be still better to have the 15,555 stakes, because then you don't can forget in a year that you need to unstake them. If you're coming back in 5 years, oh, I forgot about everything I did 5 years ago, and then crypto is at the moon, okay, then you can sell 5 of your 15 positions. And then you wait another 5 years, then you can sell another 5 of your 10 positions.
Patrick, I just looked into my introduction. This is pretty much all done, but I have another question for you because I remember before Hedron was a thing, right? We were saying, okay, guys, the Hexicans, all of them have their staking ladder done. They have their staking ladder however they want. And is it still a good idea to make 15555 native stake every year like we did in the past? Or would you adjust that as well?
I adjusted as well. So I adjusted that since Hedron is there. So within the first 10 days of Hedron, I made, instead of a native 5555 stake, I made a big HSI 5555 stake.
So with all those derivative products, we really had a chance to do other stuff with our hex, but just staking it natively. One other thing that we did was pledging our hex to Maxi, and this is also just like a 15-year stake, right? And today we will talk a lot about
And
Hedron,
then
about Maxi.
there is another thing, like why HSI staking. Like the HSI stakes gives you the opportunity to borrow Hedron on it, and it's only like 1% or something like that on monthly fees. What you need to pay. So you get actually a credit there with a 1% monthly interest rate kind of stuff. But you, on the other hand, can also use your HSI stake to mint on a monthly base. So only a small little fraction of your monthly rate you actually need to rebuy. And if Hedron staking in the future is lucrative, that you get like good amount of fees there, you and we don't know that yet. So we might know that like in half a year, we might know that in 2 years, because it all depends a little bit how much is going on the platform in this ecosystem. Because their fees will be generated, and those fees are the earnings you can get in those staking pools. What we will get next week, the Hedron staking and the ICOSA staking. And if you get a big chunk of Hedron, then you can consider of borrow all your HSI stakes, use those Hedron to stake it, and just take the gains from that. And then, like on the other side, you can mint from time to time and just repay your monthly rates. You know what you would need to repay if you borrow the Hedron on that. Or you're just saying, okay, I don't even need my minted Hedron because I'm a hex staker. And then you say, okay, then let's stake those Hedrons for a while and make some fees and increase your Hedron like that way.
But besides the
So
staking
the
of
more I'm thinking of native versus HSI staking, the more positive points I find for HSI staking.
well, I would still recommend a native stake for all my onboarded that are totally new. I want to have them a 5555 stake for sure, natively, without having the option to sell the HSI. Patrick, I have something really interesting here from the real Hex Bergot. Maybe he can collaborate a little bit more about it. Let me read the comment. He's saying, all we need is like 50 more comments on DYDX, and we are the biggest engagement in the history. I'm leading the charge to get Hex listed, and DYDX is a decentralized trading platform. He's saying DYDX will create a massive mecca of hex profit and up to 5x leverage save. So this is pretty cool that he's doing that. Hexicans, they just love to have their hex everywhere. And there are even some people out there that like to trade their hex on leverage, even though we and Richard Hart is always saying, don't do crypto and leverage. There's the two things don't go well together because it's so volatile. All right, Patrick, we were talking about the staking, and we can stake every coin nowadays, right? Even PLSD will come out with staking. But today, our main topic is how to be your own bank, and we will not talk about staking so much, but more about liquidity pools. So let's jump into this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we have prepared? I know you have a couple of charts, and like you said, we want to not look at the Hex USDC chart, for example, but at other pairs like Hex Maxi and so on. So let's bring up the screen share.
we will start with the Hex USDC chart just to make our usual chart analysis at first, and then we go from there. So first of all, when you start up my screen share, first of all we look at the fee structure, because when we are our own bank on the blockchain, we always need to pay a little fees in order to use the blockchain if we are completely decentralized and in the no middleman world. And I mean, right now I need to refresh that a little bit because an hour before here you saw like a 12 bucks. Now the fees went down again. You know, we see 10 gwei here. I expect this weekend to go down even again to 4 gwei, 5 gwei, something like that. So making a Uniswap swap right now is pretty cheap, $4. And also like staking, unstaking, minting, add liquidity, reduce liquidity, collect fees from liquidity, all those kind of transactions are pretty cheap to do, and all those kinds of transactions are not time sensitive. Only swaps are time sensitive because you need to reach the market maker in the background after you say I want to swap this for this. Needs to fetch the price you wanted to have or you put it in, and if prices are really volatile or fees are really high and you put it at a lower fee, then it might take longer to get the price you wanted, and then the transaction can fail. So Uniswap swaps would be the recommendation to put on high. Also, high, that's it's not necessarily that you need to put it on high, but a little hint there: if you put it on high, you reduce the risk actually a lot by getting front run by a bot. So what are those bots? So for example, a few days ago, I saw that like right in front of my eyes while I looked at a specific chart. There was like one bot coming in and purchasing a lot of this coin, moving the price up, and then it was directly before somebody wanted to buy like a normal amount of this coin. And then this bot front runs this transaction, bought like a huge chunk. Then this guy needed to buy from there and a little higher for this position, and then the bot sold again and went away like with a little arbitrage money in his pocket. But the guy who bought needed to buy at a like 10% higher price than it actually was needed. So that's why our recommendation would be, in order to not have problems with bots, that you put your swaps on the high fee, and all the other things you can put on the weekend, and put actually even manually down at under 10 Gwei, because right now in the last couple of weeks on the weekends, Gwei are going down to under 10, and under 10 is like really nice spot. So now again,
before we go away from this side, let me ask you a question, because today we will talk about providing liquidity, and when you provide liquidity, you also have to make a transaction. Would you say providing liquidity is time sensitive, or can you put it down actually?
Yeah, you can put it down, no problem, because when you enter a position, you just say to the blockchain, I want to enter in this pool that amount of this coin and this amount of that coin, and there is no change involved. Like a swap always involves a change from one currency to another. And as there is no change involved, it's just like a function you run, add liquidity. It's just a function that you run. You can manually move the Gwei down, but never move the gas down. So when you are making a transaction, you have three things: you have gas, then you have minus fee, and you have Gwei. The gas is like how much computation is needed in order to do this transaction. So never move it down. If you want to, you can just round it up, but also don't move it too high up. That's also a way how to lose fees. And then the middle thing, the minus priority, just leave that like at 1.5 Gwei. And then the Gwei, the last number of the advanced settings, you can manually move around. And if you are doing that on the weekend, or even if you're doing that right now, you already saw like 5 minutes ago 9 Gwei, so you can easily put that at 9 Gweis. Then you just would need to wait not long, because now it jumped to 9 Gwei. So that's how it works. I hope you get my point here.
Oh yeah, 100%. But since it is a Uniswap, I thought there might be a time sensitivity as well. But thanks for teaching
No,
me here.
only if it's a swap. All the other functions are not. So let's go to Hex, no?
Let's jump into the next chart. This is Hex USDC. Later on, we will look into other pools as well.
Exactly. So this is Hex USDC. We got like mid-June drop nearly 95%, 2.8 cents. We spiked really good from there, came down again to 3 cent level, and from there are going in a new upwards trend. I even put it like a higher tilted upwards trend in there. It's looking pretty good. So Bitcoin is looking pretty good. Ethereum is looking pretty good. Hex as well. The global impacts, like what are doing the central banks. European central bank is like a little bit trapped, but it will still hold for another while. But actually, those interest rate rises are way heavier and way more destructive than if the Federal Reserve Bank is doing that. And then Federal Reserve Bank also plays like an interesting game. On the one hand side, they are increasing the interest rates in order to fight inflation, and on the other side, they are passing a bill for create 750 billion of new inflation, uh, which is actually not bad for our markets here, because like more money out of thin air makes the dollar weaker, so that needs to unload somewhere. So that should be actually bullish for the crypto market. But that's why I don't trust this bullish up movement now. And you should keep in mind that maybe in the end of this month, a lot of Bitcoin are going to pay out. You should also keep in mind that maybe another interest rate spike brings the economy a little bit more down. You should also keep in mind that if we get a third GDP decline in a row, that everybody will know that we are in a recession, because the official definition is like two consecutive quarters of GDP going down, and we had that already, but everybody is like celebrating upwards trends. So I wouldn't trust all that too much. And in the last cycle, Bitcoin and Ethereum needed a year from their top to their lowest point, and they had both their top in early November last year. So that's like 3 months to go there. And in 3 months, a lot can happen in the markets, and that's why be cautious. I just say be cautious. But for now and for the next couple of weeks, I see a pretty bullish movement here. So in general, so especially like in our ecosystem, because what we do we have? We have the ICOSA launch, the Hedron staking. In the next 3 months, we definitely get the Pulse Bitcoin. In the next 3 months, we are definitely getting the team contract, the 4 new HEX perpetual staking contracts, and all those things. Richard being now in the States, doing more podcasts, they always need a few time that they get views, because those people who are watching live mostly are already invested, and then it just takes a while, until new people are also seeing that stuff, and then some of them are like, oh, where can I invest in that? And then they do that, and then the price rises. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty bullish, but I am still not sure if we already reached the end of the bearish tunnel. And
Well, Richard
spikes
is
are
always saying 11K and pray for Bitcoin, right? He's also
yeah.
saying there is a grayscale discount, for example, or there's also a lot of Bitcoin coming out the end of the month. Of course, we don't know for sure if they will really hit the market, but then, like you said, 2
We
more
are also
of
not
events
sure
that
if
we
they
have,
are
but
getting sent
afterwards it
out.
could go
So
down again, right?
sorry, Ellen, but first of all, we are even not sure if they even get sent out.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. But it's
So
a thing.
that's like
It's
the
something
first
that
thing what I'm not
brings
looking at.
uncertainty,
Are
don't
there
you
any
think?
blockchain transactions? What?
It's definitely that
No.
is something that brings uncertainty, right? A rumor like this.
Yeah, sure. So and it's not much, needed uh, that we get in a bearish movement again. And it also feels like a little too early. It feels just like already people are getting more of this bullish sentiment again and so on. So I I I'm not 100% sure, but it could be a bull trap, yeah. But this bull trap will go on for the next couple of weeks. So I'm pretty sure about that.
And this is actually a good
Uh,
time, right? The bear market to accumulate for new people to get set their bags, because we will get out of this recession. We will get another pump in cryptocurrency, and I just cannot wait for the bull run. All right, Patrick. So this was Hex USD. Do you have some more to share for that, or should we jump into the other topics?
yes and no. So let's stay like with the USDC charts for a moment. I also wanted to show Hedron USDC. And I mean, Hedron had a great run like since our last stream. So how much days are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like in the last 2 weeks, it made over 200%, over 3x, 3.5x. That's pretty cool. And I need to warn you guys, because I don't think that you can make a lot of more gains if you buy Hedron right now at this price level. I see a huge resistance coming here at the 30. I would say that I always don't say all those zeros, and then I say the first two numbers. So down here we had a low at 2 at 1.8. Here that's like the 5.5, that's like the 10 level. Here we have the 17.5, and here we have the 30 level. And I guess there we will see new resistance. And usually the cryptocurrency market doesn't work that when new things are there, that the prices are going up. It's always that when new things are announced, then the prices go up. So in my point of view, we had a nice run in Hedron, and you might consider taking some profits now, because it went pretty parabolic again. You see that here as well. You see that here as well, and you see what comes afterwards. Always, and on Sunday evening we are starting. Now it's Friday afternoon, so within the next 48 hours, I am 80% sure that we will reach the local top here. I
All right.
might be wrong. Yeah, I don't have a crystal ball, but I have a pretty strong opinion that we might see a correction in this chart pretty soon.
Well, Red Squirrel is saying a lot of this hedron will get locked up in staking. Of course, this could be true, but you definitely have a valid point that there is a lot of hedron to mint in the future by the Hexicans, since we all have big stakes coming out. And you just showed us the mint all function, but also will result in more hedron on the market, I believe.
Yeah, so my thinking here is that next week everybody will look into ICOSA. And then next week all the sharks will also look into it. And when they see the new front end, the icosa.pro front end, they will see, oh, it's a nice front end. I liked it. But still, they will then see this one. With one transaction, I can mint all my mintable hedron. That's cool. Let's mint a couple of billions. And because that's also like for all those people who have, let's take HODLDOC. HODLDOC is a good example in that, exactly, especially because we know through the streams of HODLDOC that he had a showing account where he made like hundreds and hundreds of stakes, with little amount of money. And for him, this function is like gold worth, because in order to mint those hedrons, he would need to run like hundreds and hundreds of functions. And now he only needs to connect this wallet address and press mint all. And I think that will lead to more sell pressure than the staking of hedron can absorb.
Well, this is a really bold statement. Let's see if this comes true. All right, okay, this is Hedron and USDC. Do you have some more to talk about that, or should we start looking into all those other pools?
Yeah, one more USDC chart, the Pulse Doge USDC chart. Here we are still in the upwards channel. We made a new all-time high. I can actually move this red line to a green line because it was the old all-time high resistance first and got broken and got nearly touched. So it got nearly like touched from the top, and I don't see it going further down than that. Also like this parallel channel is still in the place. We see buy pressure with the VIX, and I continue being bullish there because there we only had the announcement that Pulse Bitcoin will come out soonish. Yeah, like we had with Hedron that ICOS will come out soonish a couple of weeks ago as well. And now we got the announcement ICOSA will start at. And we are still missing the announcement Pulse Bitcoin will start at. And with this announcement, I guess this chart will move again above. So what could you do right now if you're holding Pulse Doge and Hedron? And now
before you jump into that, let me ask you a question. Since you mentioned Pulse Bitcoin, do you have any more information on how to stake PLSD? Because when I found Pulse Bitcoin, I thought maybe it's going to be like where you stake your PLSD and get maybe Pulse Bitcoin, something like this. Could that be a possibility?
Yeah. That's like how it will work, but we don't know any details yet. But in order to get Pulse Bitcoin, you only have two options. You can stake your Pulse Dogecoins and earn Pulse Bitcoin, or you can straight up buy it on a decentralized exchange.
All right, nice.
But I don't know more about the tokenomics of Pulse Bitcoin. So I just know that it will also have like a scarce supply, so really low supply. And I don't know like the exact tokenomics. So, but that's to be announced. And as soon as we know that, we will talk about that for sure.
All right, awesome. Let's jump into the next pool. What do you have here to show next?
So what I have to show next here is the pulse doge hedron pair. And if you're saying like, okay, you have both, you have hedron, you have pulse doge, and you are agreeing with my view on those coins, then you could, for example, also consider to move some of your hedron into pulse doge, because you see, okay, it's never been better than today to do that trade, actually, like since this pool got created in the 6th of July. So I guess like maybe in the pool storage is not that old. Yeah, no. Anyway, so we see that this chart is coming down, down, down extremely. So a few days ago, it costed you like over 8 million heat run to get one pulse Dogecoin, and now you're down at 2.8 million heat run for one pulse Doge, and that's pretty cool. And I also already saw pulse Doge whale doing exactly that. So some of the pulse Doge whale are hex sharp, so they get like a big heat run back for free, or they got a big hit run back for free, and they all obviously claimed the 10x bonus. And they are not heat run whales; they are just big players in heat run, but they are pulse doge whales. So they will definitely put this chart on their watch list. And once they see like good rates, like 3 million, even 2 million heat run for one pulse doge, and they know that in heat run other people can come out of thin air and just dump the price down, and that's not the case with Pulse Dogecoin. And they are in the position, so like only they could like murder the price, because they are the whales, like I'm speaking of top 5 wallets here. And that's why it is not the worst idea to take a nice ratio here and move Hedron into Pulse Dogecoin. That's my opinion here, yeah. And I'm also known for having some strong opinions.
But you are showing this chart not in order to give trading advice, but we want to talk about liquidity pools, right? So let's jump into this topic a little bit
Yes.
more. How can
And
you be your own bank
by
using the smart contracts
Mhm.
and using liquidity pools?
Exactly. And by changing to this topic, I'm also going to change charts, and I'm going to change to the Maxi Hex chart, because a few months ago, we also got the recommendation here on our channel that Maxi has launched, or like the mint phase has started, and that you now can mint one hex into one Maxi, and that it's representing a 5555 stake, and also representing a 5x bonus of Hedron. So really, really cool coin, actually. And in 50.2 years, you can redeem like all the earned hex and all the earned Hedron on that. And then it started out, and interestingly enough, within a small time frame, beginning of May, it doubled. It went from this 1-to-1 ratio to a 1-to-2.3 ratio, even in a single week here. And then like it stayed up there, it stayed at above 150, and then it stayed above 160, it stayed above 180, and now it looks like it just fights for the 2-to-1 line. So always when it goes over the 2 line, it looks like that some maxi people are selling it down for hex, because they are just thinking, okay, a 2-to-1 in a couple of months, that's like what I wanted to have, and then they sell it down. And now to liquidity providing. So here, this chart, as you can see, is
Maybe before we
not
start, maybe
too
you could
volatile.
maybe explain more, like who is that for? Like, because a new person obviously would not jump right into liquidity providing, but who is this stream for that we do today?
I disagree on that a little bit. And for example, a new person just need to educate himself, because Mars, our guy in the background, did exactly that. In the last months, to show people. I mean, privately, but he showed them with smaller accounts of his own how you can do exactly those strategies as well with low total volume. Like for example, with your 265 free claim of Pulse Dogecoins, and how you can also do that like with only this one free coin with one-sided liquidity, and how you can increase your coins doing that by saving on fees, playing the right liquidity provider game, and getting more coins over time.
All right.
So it's definitely not only for the big guys here. Also the small guys should listen what we have to say. I mean, of course, if you don't have any hex now, if you don't have any maxi now, then it might be a little trickier. So okay, if you're already in the market, but in this specific chart right now, yes, you cannot be like a completely new player, because I wouldn't recommend like to buy. No, I wouldn't recommend to buy straight up maxi right now, because you would just make way more if you buy hex and staked it on your own for 15 years, because this ratio is actually overbought. But what you could do in this pool, first of all, you also have like different decisions to make when it comes to liquidity providing. You can do just one-sided liquidities where you only need like one coin, or you do a two-sided liquidity, and that's like the first thing I'm going to explain here now. So two-sided liquidity. If this chart, so two-sided liquidity means in this case I need maxi and I need hex for this pool. So maxi and hex, two-sided liquidity. And then I can, yes, Alan?
Oh no, I didn't say anything. It was my computer.
Okay. And then and then you can choose what kind of range you are going to do that. And here you can say, okay, if I put in hex and maxi, if this chart goes up, it will move my pool towards maxi, and if this chart goes down, it moves. No, sorry again. So if this chart goes up, I have maxi and hex in my pool. If this chart goes up, it goes from my maxi more into more hex, yeah, until my top limit of my range is reached. That would be like the 100% hex point. And if this chart goes down, then I would go from my hex to maxi, and my maxi pool would be bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I can do here, for example, I can say, okay, I have maxi, I have hex. Then I can say, okay, maxi will, in the long run, will go higher than that 1.49. 100%, that's for sure. That's written in the code. That's because maxi is it's representing an actual stake. So we know that this ratio will go up in the future, 100%. So we don't care too much if we get in our position to all maxi. We don't care too much about that. Why? Because we know that this ratio in 3 years will be definitely higher than this 1.49. So what I could do now is I can just start a liquidity position and make, for example, a one-sided liquidity position where I only put in maxi. And I could put it in like only to 1.93, or I can even put it like at 1.95 if I want to. Can I do that? Sorry, now if I do the one-sided, I can only start lower than the actual price, yeah, not higher. If I start like a little higher, I would already need to have maxi. I would already need to have hex for that. So no, lower. So let's say like 192 we start, or 193 we start, and then always when it tips down. Start with maxi. No. When I start with maxi down here, if it moves into my position, haven't prepared it too well. Mars, help me out a little bit. If I need to look it up on Uniswap, and of course my wallet is not connected anymore.
But we can maybe look into the chat here a little bit and
You know,
to give you some
it is a
time.
little hard, maybe, to get that right, you know, because you're talking about different cryptocurrency, you're talking about the ratios and ranges, and yeah,
But we
and the
have Bluebomb here
upside.
helping
Yeah.
us out. He is saying you want hex. You want to put the hex under the price. And Retrostatic is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
saying it's wrong. It's the
If you
other
want
way
to
around.
have maxi, then you put hex directly under that, and if this price chart goes into your position, you will move slowly from your hex to your maxi. But there is another option of liquidity providing, this one-sided liquidity providing, where I could also put, yeah, I need to put it on the upside. So yeah, when I say I only have maxi, then I can say, okay, I only put it here on the upside, like higher than the current price, like at 195 in that case. And there I could put in all maxi, if I'm not mistaken, and I would only get fees like if it's traded in my range. So I would only need to add one side of the liquidity, and that's what I actually wanted to try out right now. But I need to reconnect my
And right
Uniswap
now, the
because
people saw PLSD and Hedron because this was what we were talking about in our stream before this stream here. We will still go to PLSD and Hedron, I bet you.
yeah, of course.
Once
I
the
mean,
site opens up here.
I also showed you the chart for that. It's nice, like
And
how
maybe we
how
can collaborate a little bit. Why did you show the Hex Maxi pair first?
I showed that first because if you're putting two-sided liquidity, then it's the best thing if a chart goes sideways, and let's say you put it in here with a broader range, then you were like in your position the whole time, and if you put it in here, let's say you put it in 50-50, then you now have more hex than maxi. Yeah.
And also, I guess when it goes sideways, there's just not that much risk of a permanent loss, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. If a chart goes sideways, then you basically have no impermanent loss. So also, like for example, the hexagon chart, like here, beginning of July until beginning of end of July, was also like on the same amount of level. And here you had impermanent loss to this side, then you had the impermanent loss to the other side, and now you have huge impermanent loss to the other side. So for example, if you started here with 50-50 hex and hedron, and let's say a range that you would be all hedron up here at 100,000 and all hex down here at the all-time low, then you would now have like a third of your hedron in there, and your hex would have increased like doubled or something like that. Yeah, that was too technical. No. And like the chart what I showed before, I will get to that as well, because it has like this red zone and named away cell wall, and I will get to that all. And it's not a bad thing. So it's not like, oh, it's like the away will sell Hebron down or something. No, nothing like that. It's actually pretty cool, and I will show you exactly. But let's finish that first. And I would also like to show you like how to make such a call, but Uniswap is not loading anymore for me. Okay, then I don't show you that right now. And yeah, so as Bluebomb also say, if you want to collect, for example, Maxi, and you see it like here up at 2 to 1, then you can start putting only hex in there, and if it's then going down, you will move like hex into Maxi. Or if you say like, oh, more than 2 to 1, I like, and then you put like your max in there, and if this chart continues to go up, you get like slowly from your hex 2 maxi. And yeah, liquidity providing is pretty cool if you are doing it in pools where you don't where it doesn't matter for you if you have an impermanent loss 100% towards this side or 100% towards the other side. Because you already said from the get-go, I don't care if I end up with 100% of each side. So, for example, the hex hedron pool is something where I would consider myself, I would like to collect the fees, and I don't mind too much if I have like all hex or all hedron in there. And even if I say, okay, I would like to have like more hex in there than hedron, then it's a good play to wait until this chart is like more up, and there you place like a little bit of hex and a lot of hedron, and put like a tiny range to the upside where it would be like all hedron, and a huge range to the downside. And then like if it's trading in your range the whole time, then you get all those fees. And now let's explain this here, the OA sell wall. And it's, I don't know why people are calling it sell wall. It's just one-sided liquidity, and it's not really, yeah, yeah, kind of. So what you see here on the side is a total liquidity of 4.3 million. That's pretty impressive, right? And that's this because of this. So I need to refresh this page. Let's see how that works out, and how that changed. Like 2 hours ago, or a little less than 2 hours ago, we showed that the last time, and there it was like nearly in the middle of the so-called sell wall, and only 960 billion hedron left to this side, and already nearly 32 million hex in there. And in the last 2 hours, I guess hedron went down a little bit, and there should be less hex and more hedron in this pool. Yep, we got a few more billion hedron back in there, and a few less hex. So, but actually nothing is changing if the OA is not doing anything. So what the OA did here was only putting this one-sided liquidity there, and it did it for two reasons. Actually, for the reason to have a more of a kind of bondage thing between hex and hedron, and also to offer the hedron market way more liquidity in certain price ranges, or in this certain price range in this case. And if hedron continues to pump, like let's say here, then the OA can just like use that and just remove this liquidity. And if we are at this white line, what you see on the screen here, then it would be, yeah, a few billion hedron, like all what's like D here. That's like not much. Five. It's like, I don't know, 50 billion hedron or something like that. Like after the sell wall to the end, and there would be a lot of hex in there. I don't know how much. Could be 80 million hex or something like that. And then the OA would have effectively moved their free hedron into free hex. And if the OA of hex gets more hex, I liked it a lot because the OA never sold a single hex, and I don't assume that it will do so in the future. So that's pretty cool. So at this price point, all the, not all, but most of the new buys of hedron are uh, coming from the OA hedron, basically. And then all those people who are excited about hedron are basically just, not just, but also purchasing in the background hedron from the OA. How does it work? So they don't need to actually exchange hex for hedron. They can just exchange USDC or ETH or whatever for hedron. And if there is an arbitrage opportunity, it will be also routed through this pool. And that's why, yeah, in the background, people who are buying Hedron right now are basically buying Hedron from the Hex owner, which is pretty cool. So I like that. But
And
again,
Bluebam here is saying, maybe let's see if you agreed with that statement. Bluebam is
sure,
saying it's a good time for people who want to take big positions to come in.
that's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true because they have 1,010 billion Hedron, what they can, how they can increase their bag, or speaking it other way, where we have it here, or they have, yeah, here you see like 926 billion in the pool. It's actually a little more according to Uniswap. I don't know like where the difference is coming from, but yeah, they have like 2.5, yeah, 2.5 million of Hedron liquidity sitting there. So if big players like multimillionaires want to buy Hedron right now, it's pretty good timing. But yeah, if we look at the Hedron USDC chart, then it's going parabolic again, and always when it went parabolic.
And you said in stream a couple of minutes ago that you do not know why people call it a sell wall. Retrostastic is saying it's an amazing support wall. How about
Yeah,
that,
that's
friend?
why, for example, yeah, but because I don't see a point in why calling it sell wall. You know, I just took it because everybody knows it under this name. But it isn't really a sell wall, you know, because it was in this range already, like not always in the last 72 hours, but a lot of times in the last 72 hours. And the OA didn't move now, so it did not do anything. So it might do something when we reach the end of that. What is needed for that? What's needed for that is that Hedron further outperforms Hex, and that might be possible. So that might be possible in the next 2 days, because when we look at the Hex chart, we see like a lot of, in my case, white, in your case, maybe green candles. We see this upwards trend, and we see like lots of green candles, correction, lots of three candles, correction, lots of three candles, maybe correction until the 557 line here. 5.5 cents. That was a Widerstandslinie. That was a
Resistance?
resistance line. Thank you. Normally, I'm missing the German words, not the English ones. It doesn't matter. So you know, it might be that Hex has a little correction going to 550 again, and then making its way further to the next recession of 750. And in this could be like over this weekend, and in the same time as Icosta is starting on Sunday evening, Monday, we could still see like another blow off top here. Because if you look at that this way, you know, you could see, okay, that's like a pretty high daily candle, and then on the next day we got this. So that can still happen. You know, I might be still too early here, but
Patrick, maybe go back again, because
don't
in the
mistake me
German
also. It's
stream you
not
were telling a nice story here at the beginning of Hedron. So go back to
I
Hedron
should.
when it launched, and then maybe we can look on how what time was it when the big pump was there.
I mean, it's a little speculation, but
Of course,
I
it's
guess
always in crypto.
I guess I'm like pretty right with that. So if you look at this timing here, it's the 8th of March, the 9th of March, and here's the 10th of March. We had the Hex conference in Vegas going on till the 9th of March, so people went back home on the 10th, and I'm sure that like big players don't have like all their accessibility with them if they are based in America and just went to a 4-day conference. So they came home on the 10th of March, had access to their hardware wallet devices again, and then they saw like, oh wow, so much value here, and start dumping it on.
Right, well, it could be true, but it's all speculation at this point.
It's all speculation, bro. It's all
Just
speculation.
makes sense.
But you know, just if you look at this market structure, you get a parabolic move, you have a correction, and those corrections, they look like little, but you know that's like a 60% correction right there in 4 days. So
And I also saw Hex Huddle, Stake Hex XYZ saying Hedron is 15x from the all-time low in 55 days. Because you were not measuring it from the last all-time low, you were measuring like a little bit more on the right side there.
That is the last all-time low, and yes, that is 16x in 55 days.
Amazing. In a bear market, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Hedron did great, and exactly that's why I cannot recommend to buy this price chart right now, because it did so great in the last couple of months, during a hard bear market, and it made like the biggest reversal of all. So the low here, mid of June, is the low like of Maxi as well, of Hex as well, and so on. And from its low to its high in the US dollar chart, it made definitely the most gains.
And what we always say is that cryptocurrency tend to go up towards an event, and now basically the event just happened yesterday, right? When Alex announced that the launch will be on August 15. So what do you think?
The event is on Sunday.
Yeah, but I guess we are already we had already 20% upwards, right? We already had like our 3x from the point where you measured it. So maybe there was some Hedron guys that already knew, all right, the Ecosa will be coming out, so let's get some Hedron bags a little bit higher. And maybe that's why the price pump was like this for Hedron in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, so for sure. So the first rumor that Icosa is like in the making was like this move, and then we got the move start here, and then we got the official announcement that on Sunday on the 15th UTC, we will start with the staking side and so on. It looks awesome, like the front end and all the things you can do here. I will definitely start using this front end for all my staking. I need to say that, beautifully done. But I can love everything about the community and so on, yeah. But I still see an overpriced price chart here. So I might be wrong. I will definitely keep you updated in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going anywhere here. Then when it comes to the maxi chart, I also think that this ratio will go up because of the start of team and then the other things. Here, Hexedron, we will see like how far in this wall it can go. Maybe even further, like especially tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Let's see if people take this opportunity and really want to buy the billions of Hedron from the Hex OA. And yeah, here we have post-Doge Hedron chart, which is also interesting. Also interesting, like for fees, for liquidity pair. But here again, if you are not going like with an endless range, then you have a high risk of impermanent loss. Yeah.
But what is so interesting about this chart? It's a PLSD and Hedron, two coins that we got for free, right?
Yeah. So that's why, if you want to provide liquidity for free, you can just go like with our two free coins, what you got like on this channel in this year, which is Hedron and Pulse Dogecoin, and then you can just like make an endless, no range, endless, liquidity position there, and see what happens. You can just leave it running. But one advice from my side: I won't leave liquidity positions open over the fork, even if Mars in my background tells me like, bro, you just need like a Uniswap front end after PulseChain is forked, and there you will have access to all your forked copied NFT positions, because a liquidity position represents an NFT, and those will be copied, and then you just need like one guy who makes this front end, and then you have access to those. And I'm still not sure, like, yes, I have access to those, but will I still find like the same amount of coins as on the Ethereum chain? Because actually the AMM bot might do something with my pool over the fork. So my personal recommendation is I won't keep any liquidity positions over the fork, and we are pretty sure, actually, like we are sure that Richard will pre-announce the fork when we go to mainnet, so you will have plenty of time. In my point of view, that you can end a liquidity position before the fork, and you can already start doing it in order to get like familiar with ranges and permanent loss and how much fees you can get. Because the thing is, if you just calculate, where do I see that? Here, if you just calculate like the volume it did on a 24-hour period and go like with 1%, and then you calculate like how much you could take from this pool. That's a little, that's not the right way to calculate it, because you will make definitely more on fees, because Uniswap has a so-called automatic routing, auto router, and by doing so, a lot of times, if somebody purchases like more volume, let's say somebody purchases 100 ETH for Hex, then it's not directly 100 ETH to Hex. Then it's like some of those ETH first go to USDC, and then those USDC go into Hex. And in the case of Hedron, for example, right now, if somebody purchases I don't know, a few $100,000 worth of Hedron with USDC, then it would be USDC directly to Hedron, and another part would go USDC to Hex. No, USDC to Hex and Hex to Hedron. Yeah, USDC to Hex and Hex to Hedron.
So a lot of routing going on there.
Yeah, and because of all this routing, and sometimes like bots are using the routes through your pool in order to make a completely different trade, and that's not showing up here. And that then you also, like, the bot leaves you some fees in your pool, and that's also pretty interesting. So for providing liquidity in a 1% pool, you can easily, actually, I would say easily. Would I say easily? Yeah, you could. I'm not sure with the easily, but you can definitely make 10% of fees a month there.
And Patrick, let me ask you this: there are some pools where you have 1%, some other pools have 0.3%, for example. And how should you choose the right pool for you? Is it only the percentage that you go for, or are there some other indicators that you need to look out for?
So that the first indicator is, do I have two cryptocurrencies in my portfolio where I don't care if I have more of the one and nothing of the other, or more of the other and nothing of the one?
And if you ask me this question, then all my coins are just like this, right? I just love all my coins equally. I don't care if this goes up or this goes down, but I want to make the most
then answer my question. What two coins do you don't mind if you have like 100% of this or 100% of the other one?
Well, let's take Maxi and Hex, right? When Hex goes up, Maxi goes up, and other way around. We saw it went sideways. But my question is, though, what do I need to look out for to make the most fees?
To make the most fees, you need to look out for high volatile, high volume 1%.
All right. And how do you find those 1% pools? Because I saw when you went to Uniswap, when you create a pool, then it says something like 1% is best for like small or like those rare pools, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I actually don't know like how to find it out. I just know it a little bit. I mean, what I know is like the pulse doge USDC, I guess, is 0.3. The hex pulse doge is a 1%. The pulse doge Hedron is a 1%. The hex Hedron is a 1%. The maxi hex is a 0.3. And I guess the Hedron USDC is a 0.3 chart. I guess Blue One knows. But yeah, so you would just need to look it up. And I don't know why Uniswap is not It's not loading here on my screen. Do something.
As soon as it is loaded up, you just give me a signal, and then we put up the screen share again if you need it.
Yeah, and just by the way, so we are down at 6. So yeah, there is like nothing going on the block. So yeah, there's like nothing going on the blockchain right now. So pretty awesome timing also from Alex to start ICOSA, because like in order to stake your Hedron, you would need to perform a blockchain transaction, obviously, in order to participate in a staking pool. Same goes for ICOSA, and also when you want to exchange an HSI stake for ICOSA, you would also need to pay a blockchain transaction, because all those are blockchain transactions, and they are all not time sensitive, so you can easily put it down only the way, not the gas, please, and save on fees doing so, you know. And if you are doing that on the weekend, so like Sunday evening when ICOSA starts, might be like a pretty good time to do your movements if you want to make movements.
Right, Patrick, we are 1.5 hours in. Now let's give the chat a little chance here to like and subscribe, and maybe also ask a couple of questions. We're not over yet, so don't worry. We'll give the chat a little time.
I need to explain one more thing, because I'm sorry that it takes so long today, but you know, it's a complicated thing.
Don't worry about that.
And the other thing, or did we cover that only here? No, like with one-sided liquidity. So you can also let's make the possible the option here. So for example, here you can use this also to increase a one-side liquidity position. What you could do here right now we are at 2.9 million. You can
the
go
screen share again. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So here at the pulse doge Hedron chart, you can also do like only a one-sided liquidity on both. So it works for both things. If you say I want to increase my pulse doge coins, you can put a one-sided liquidity position under this price. So at, let's say we are at 288 right now. Let's put it at 280, and then always when it goes into that, of course you would lose from pulse doge to HEX. But if it then jumps over your initiative line again, then you still have all in pulse doge, and as it traded within your range for a certain amount of time, you got more, and that's also pretty cool. And the same works like when you say, okay, I want to increase my Hedron, then you and only have Hedron, then you can also make like a one-sided liquidity position, and then if the chart goes up and into your position, then you would lose out some Hedron for pulse doge, and if it then moves back out of your position, you would have just more Hedron in it.
So I asked the chat, hey guys, let's ask Patrick some really hard questions. And Bluebum is saying, hey Patrick, if you were going to start an ICOSA pool, what would you set the price, like compared to Hedron or HEX? ICOSA pool, obviously we do not have that yet, but we will have that in the future. Maybe Patrick, you will be the first one to open one up.
To calculate a lot. I would need to calculate a lot for that. Because so what I know, the calculation for it in order to get Hedron is you can exchange HSI stake, then it depends how much Hedron is borrowable on this stake, then it gets divided by the current T-share rate and times 10. Yeah. Please write in the chat if I'm right, my friend Blue, and then let's calculate a little bit. Let's say we have, what do we have? We have one T-share in the 5555 stake. So this one T-share are 1,000 B shares. And it is a 5,555 stakes. So I get the 1,000 B shares times 5,555 days. That's 5,555,000. borrowable heat-ron. That would be divided by 23,153 and times 10. That's 2,400 ICOSA. Okay, let's. Can you remember 2,400, please?
Yes.
In order to get one T-share for 5,555, how much hex do I need for that? I would need 7,717 hex in order to get one T-share for 5,555. And that cost me 6.2 cents right now. That's about $500. Okay.
And by the
And
way,
now,
Blue already said that sounds about right. And yes, what you ask is right.
yep. And then the 2,400 I cost what I got for that. Let's say those are worth $500. So one I cost would be fuck, I need a paper and pen here.
I think Bluebum did really good with this hard question. He tricked the hex line into doing
So it would
live math
be
on stream. It's always hard.
1 times 500 divided by 2,400. So definitely not much than 20 cents, my friend. Definitely not much than 20 cents.
So you heard it here first, 20 cents for the first proof.
No. That's like the maximum. Don't put it there. Because if you put it at 20 cents, like currently, this would be the price range where the arbitrage opportunity starts. So if this price, let's say, goes to 30 cents, then I could just take $1,000, moved it into hex, moved it into a HSI, exchanged it for ICOSA, and sell the ICOSA, and I would get more than $1,000. So that's like the upper limit of this price. And if you really want to have a nice looking chart in the beginning, I would put it at 1 cent.
Yes,
I
so
would
there's
put
a
it at
lot
1
of
cent.
potential to go upwards. That's true.
Yeah, then you have at least like a 20-21x, until you reach the arbitrage opportunity. That's nice. So yeah,
There's
but then it's
something.
also like, if you put it at initially at 1 cent, then you then it's not worth it, because then the question remains like, why should I now exchange HSI stake for ICOSA if those 2,400 ICOSA are only worth like a penny, which means like $24. Yeah, $24, and I exchanged one T-share for those $24, and one T-share is $1,000. So I don't know. I really don't know like where to put the price properly there, but I guess it will always move. Like this maxi chart where it has like this line of redeemable maxi over time, and then like a premium discount.
Yeah.
It could move this way as well. I don't know. It's
All
possible.
right. Well, it is it's similar to Maxi a little bit, since it is a product built on top of Maxi, built on top of Hex. It is a derivative product, right? So yeah, would make sense to follow this price range for sure. Bluebum also said, although if it's 5555, you get a 10% bonus. Don't know exactly what he meant there, but
Yeah, if you exchange a HSI stake, which has like which was made in the claim phase, which has like the 10x claim bonus, the 9x claim bonus, and if you made a HSI stake in that time, you automatically had this X bonus. Every 10 days, it went down another X. So if you exchange those, then you will get a 10% bonus on top on
all
your
right.
icon.
So Patrick,
And
today
that's
we
like
talked.
pretty good because sorry, because the borrow able Hedron don't have any access. So in it how should I say that without like fudding? It sounds nice, like even get up to a 10% bonus. But if that's a long stake, I would rather prefer keeping my HSI stake in order to be able to mint a 10x heat run bonus for the end of the time of the stake.
Hmm. And Bluebird is also saying, or if you make it now, 5555 gets a bonus and launch bonus gets a bonus as well. But I wouldn't sell those at all.
Yeah, I mean, what we did, we did 2 weeks ago in the onboarding account, we did show you how to make HSI stakes. We made a nice little video out of that, and we made two HSI stakes because one of them is reserved for ICOSA. And yeah, I will definitely look into that on Sunday evening. And I would actually need to talk to you and Mars as well if we record that or do something with that, because yes, I would like to use the launch bonus for that and so on. So I might move that on Sunday, and maybe we do another recording of that or something like that. So yeah, definitely worth checking out the early days, because always in the early days there are, yeah, the biggest opportunities. And then yes, then I'm curious what kind of ICOSA price the Heatron community will put it in the beginning, because if it's a high price, then you're pretty near at the arbitrage opportunity. If it's a pretty low price, then I don't know if people want to exchange their HSI stakes. But if it's a pretty low price, it might be like bought up in a low liquidity pool pretty fast. So
Now,
it's
the
hard to
truth will
say.
probably be somewhere between that. What you said, 20 to 1 cent, it definitely makes sense. Bluebird also said it makes sense. So really interesting there. All right, Patrick.
Yeah.
So today we talked a little bit about the overall market in Hex. We looked at the price charts about USDC for every coin. We also looked into a lot of pools and how to be your own bank when you provide liquidity, right? Is there anything else that you want to mention before we end the stream today?
No, I hope everybody comes to Vegas, guys. So we will be there on the 5th of September at our golf tournament event, and then on the days afterwards on PulseCon. And there are plenty of side parties going on and shows and all kinds of stuff. So would be cool to see all the Hexicans out there again. And yeah, if you know some golfers out there, please go get in touch with us or get in touch with them. It's an awesome opportunity they have there. It will not be like the highest competitive golf tournament of all time. So Tiger Woods said no, he can't come. I'm sorry. So there is, if you're like a medium skilled golfer, there is an option that you can win those prize monies who are there for the winning team. So you might consider getting that. If you maybe know a really good golfer outside the crypto community and you want to onboard him as well, like maybe you make a foursome with those guys. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you as well for sticking to the stream today. I hope you got new ideas of ways how you can be your own bank, of ways how to provide liquidity. You have to think a lot actually when you go into that game, but it's nothing more lucrative in this world than being your own bank. Richard also told us that in the last interviews he did, he was like mentioning like the best like blockchain companies, which are like really good CEO, running great, even the bear market and so on. And those CEOs would still have done better by just keeping on their Bitcoin position. And we know that Bitcoin is like the uh, least performing coins in the last couple of years. So it's way easier to outperform everything if you are your own bank in the crypto market. And that's like my last words for today. Thanks for sticking around so long. Don't forget about liking and subscribing. And have a nice day. And see you soon in Vegas, guys.
And like Richard always says, we do not know how high cryptocurrency can really go. And if you choose the right one, you may never need to work ever again in your life. And this is exactly what we are teaching here as KSB TV. And yeah, the golf tournament, I'm really excited and just announced today that I will be present there as well. I will come to Vegas, have a lot of fun at those parties. So guys, if you want to join us, hit us up at KSB TV/golf tournament, for example, and then let's have a great time. Well, thank you, Patrick, for this amazing stream. Thanks for everybody who was here in the chat with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to KSB TV. That's really important because most people are still subscribed to only Kryptosparbuch, but the English content will be held here on KSB TV in the future, especially when we do our golf tournament and the Million Pull Tour. And I think this was the good last words. I want to thank everybody and see you in the next week.
Bye bye, everybody. See you.